Hey everybody, welcome back to my comic book spinner rack. I occasionally throw in some new ones and toss some of the old ones out. This one book, it was a Fantagraphics book, I think. Yeah, they produce a lot of great stuff. I am Mongombo. I liked humor magazines if I felt they were done really well, and this qualified because at the time I'd lived on my own for like 2 years in Maryland, where the cost of living is just double of everywhere else in the country. So I didn't have a lot of money to spend on that kind of stuff. I mean, I had to get gas and pay rent and all that happy horse shit. But this really caught my eye. This isn't. I have all 7 issues. This isn't the first, but it's one of my favorites. It's basically an adventurer named Cliff. He goes on an adventure like Indiana Jones, and he gets turned into a duck by a witch doctor. And this is like the adventurer's sidekick, who's just kind of Gilligan-like and kind of goofy. And there's just a whole bunch of people that nice little group of characters. Oh, and the main character, the adventurer, got turned into a duck. And the artwork's really, really exquisite. So, this rabbit's sort of doing a Twilight Zone type thing. What next? Never asked this question in a comic book. Look how he renders the dinosaur. That's excellent. I don't know if it's accurate for, these days and age. This day and age, but anyway, the sidekick, he's sleeping in the jungle all alone. He's like, Scorpion bops him on the nose. Raquel, Monty, you guys awake? Raquel? Hey! Panic. Denial. No, 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 no! Despair. I'm merely doomed. Anger. Bitch! Resolve. Ditch me, will they? I'll find them. I'll find them if it takes me the last 4 issues. I probably will. Shut up! So he actually makes this trek around, I think it's South America. Pretty entertaining. The faces, the eyes, the body language. It's got such a great charm to it. So it was going to be 10 issues. Only made it to 7 because it just was. He had to make a living. He ended up in animation. Because, I mean, there weren't a lot of people. Like Fantagraphics books, unless they are huge reproductions of, like, say, they did the entire Charles Schultz Peanuts catalog. They've done Terry and the Pirates. They've done other kinds of stuff. But the new stuff, it's a hard sell. And it has nothing to do with quality. It's just like, it's yet another book that we have to try out. But humor books, I found it right away if they're amusing or not. Or if they're just snarky. And you got money, and you got a monkey too. They're always fun. So the rabbit gets shot with an arrow. Doug Gray, the creator of the comic, steps in. Laying down the job. I knew I shouldn't trust a boozy old wash-up like you. Have a heart, will you? I've been shot, mortally wounded. It's not so bad. I can fix up in time. See, no problem. Oh my god. There's some band-aids. So go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I love that. His artwork is so great. So that's that. There's much more. The whole thing is hilarious. It's 7 issues. They have a trade paperback, but it only reprints like the first 3 issues. But I'm sure you could get them, on eBay or something like that. Love it. I've reread it several times since I bought it in 1889. So, let's say every other year I've read it. Now, this is a reproduction of one of the new... Marvel does these great reproductions of older stories that have... A lot of them have a specific storyline beginning, and sometimes it has an impact that changes a character's life. Spider-Man, well, Roger Stern, John Romita Jr., they brought that book up from the depths. It was a shithole for years and years and years. And I quit like issue 1 89. I picked up 200 because it was a anniversary issue, and I'll just collecting those. Didn't really buy anything until John Romita Jr. and Roger Stern came on board. They really brought him up to date. They weren't going through the same old. Then when they left with issue 250, Heartbreaker, they had a continuing story that went into 251 that had the plot from Roger Stern, but Tom DeFalco and Ron Frenz took over, and they did a fantastic job. It's just amazing. They passed the baton to Tom and to Ron. So they did 251, 252, the famous issue where he gets the black costume, and 253, and this is a fill-in issue by Rick Leonardi. And that cover, I swear, it looks like Terry Austin inked it. It's so beautiful. Man, like Rick Leonardi's just one of those guys. He just never really... Not enough people sing his praises. Just old geezers like me. And he can outdraw anything. Look at that. Dredging up a battle wagon from the harbor. It's just not... And then also have the image of him taking photos. Just little nuances. He's got all figured. I love it on this slick paper. I'm not a paper snob, but stuff like this, where he used a lot of negative space. Look at that. Wow. That's like pre-Todd McFarlane stuff going on there. And actually Ron Frenz did some of that stuff too. So I bet you there was a little bit of inspiration there for McFarlane. I mean, he took it much further. Yeah, they had payphones back in the day. And a lot of stuff going on in this issue. And what's neat is Leonardi has his own style. And but the thing is, Ron Frenz has been drawing 2 previous issues, at least 3, and Leonardi seemed to have catered his style to what Ron was doing with Tom. And I'm not saying that in a fashion that like he felt, square boxed in or anything. It's just that he sort of had he wanted to keep it consistent because, for the hell of it, I don't even think the editor got into it about it. It's just a situation. Leonardi's like a total pro all the way. Ah, goodness gracious, that's great. Spider signal, which is always one of the coolest things that they don't use enough. That was on his belt buckle, but... No, his belt buckle. How about that? Just floats away past it. And just like Ron Frenz was doing, Leonardi is doing the multiple images like Ditko would do during a battle. There's a lot of great follow-through. See, that's a problem with a lot of modern comics. There's a lot of posturing, and there's a lot of, like, nothing happening, and then somebody goes, pow, and they get knocked out, and that's your action for the day. But to be a good comic writer and an artist, I mean, for God's sakes, they're superheroes. I mean, the X-Men and all these other characters, they kind of, in Avengers, a lot of times they just loiter in their own book, and it's like they're dressed for battle, and they're built for battle. So, battle on, you bastards. So, Hobgoblin, no, not Hobgoblin. Jack-o'-lantern was a Steve Ditko design that was in one of the last issues of Machine Man that Ditko had done, and that's a great friggin' costume. Very, very great. I like the coloring too. It's very subdued. Terry Austin's on the inks on this, I think. Yeah. And you see everything clear. A little drop out of a pink. Not drop out, but just a subdued color. Still going all around this place. So another toy store. This was a house ad for Power and Iron Fist. It's pretty fun. Buy me some cabbage. Stuff happens. And then he shows up he misses Aunt May. They were getting together for a special occasion, and her boyfriend, what's his name? He says, I thought you cared about your aunt. Maybe I was wrong. So they have the Spectre of Spider-Man over him, just like what they did in the Ditko issues. And other artists have done the same since. So we are going to go to... hold on a second. Silverblade. I picked this up recently, and it's a 12-issue miniseries, and it ain't that great. I'm sorry. I feel bad. And then we was taking a bath on this. For one thing, too, one of the colors on this is a silverish. See, it's like a silverish tone, and it's on new format, as they call it, which I hate. I just call that new expensive format, 50 cents more than a regular comic. And I don't think it merited the new format. And the whole thing is, the main character, he was a swashbuckler in the black and white movies. Just a really big deal. He was like, oh gosh, I can't think of all those guys. You know what I'm talking about, the swashbuckler dudes. And, Tyrone Power and all these other guys. And he played a lot of different roles, Douglas Fairbanks, all that stuff. But what's unknown to everybody is his son shows up. Jonathan Lord Jr. And people are wondering, where have you been all your life? Are you the son of Jonathan Lord? Dear God, the resemblance is uncanny. Is that the same outfit Lord wore himself in the Silver Blade 50 years ago? She's just yapping on. So it's a movie screening, and it's one of those, the calls come from behind your house, blam, blam, blam. How revolting. And Jonathan Lord decides to leave. He's sickened. What's wrong with the flick, mister? They really didn't cover, like back then, you almost never used the word flick. You see how that makes like a U? I'm pretty shocked about that. There are curse words in here, but not the F word. So, it's, how can I put it? Basically, he is his own son. And I don't mean that in a, God forbid, a Carol Danvers way from Avengers number 200. What I mean is, somehow he got reincarnated, and he looks like he did 50 years ago. So people were he's just calling himself Junior. So, this guy's going to mug. All of a sudden, our hero turns into a freaking mummy. Okay, and got him like a pig. Dust, he's bleeding dust. Sliced him clean off. But there's so much friggin' dust, I can't see a thing. And a stench. And then all of a sudden, he switches into boxing mode. Bam. So he goes from one of his characters. He portrayed hundreds of characters. I'm exaggerating, like many characters in his storied life in the 40s, 50s, and the 30s and such. And he has a magical ability to change into those characters. He doesn't know a whole lot about modern vernacular. Like she said, this woman says, "I hope you won't be teed off if I break my story." Teed off? Oh, upset, angry, blah blah blah. So. They go for a ride. Your regular Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris? No matter. Blah, 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 blah. And they get fresh pretty quick. Fresh. Listen to me. I sound like the anachronism. So they go to her place in California. And it makes a lot of money, I guess. $2 million for a damn well better be. A good view. And the thing is, it's kind of weird. She's like a gossip columnist, but I don't know. I mean, some of them did make a lot of money, like I think Rona Barrett or something from way back. So this woman comes out, throws herself on top of him, because he's out with the ladies. The ladies just love him. And there's a lot more going on that it's really a lot to explain. So. Also turned into like a rat/bat kind of thing. Blade is in danger. That old saw. This was a scorned lover wearing a Howard the Duck face. For all the life of me, it looks like Howard the Duck. But maybe Cary Bates, the writer, who's written billions of great stories for DC, maybe he felt like he had to have that in there, you know, just for fun. So there we go, kicking ass. And he's about to shoot our hero again. Turns to a knight. And falls back. I love that drama there. Steve Mitchell really hooked him up nice on that. That's sweet. And the war begins. Now, this issue, it's good, but maybe I'll try another issue. But I'm not like eager to do it. If I see some more, I'll get it. I don't know how it ends, and I don't want to cheat myself out of it. I do want to try to get my comic in focus, though. There we go. Pretty good. Now check this out. You're a silver star, no matter who you are. I love this. In the early 90s, around 93, or just before the comic boom burst, Topps Comics managed to get all the publishing rights to Kirby's leftover characters from even Pacific Comics, because Kirby had full participation in that, and that was his character. And Silver Star did 6 issues of. This is a reimagining of it, but a slightly updated version. And it's not like he's, shooting, guns out of his shoulders and stuff. It's just a major friggin' kick-ass book that I love. And what kills me is it's just one of 4, but only one came out because Topps just came on too late in the scene, and each issue was polybagged with a trading card. And that was cool for a while, but even, I think it was Salicrup, the line editor, somebody said that it really hurts sales, because you don't know what's going on inside. And if you're buying a Rob Liefeld comic and there's a you're already a sap. Oh, did I say that? I couldn't resist. Anyway, this is James Fry. I had shown some of his work earlier on Liberty Project from Eclipse in the late 80s. And it was pretty cool. And Kurt Busiek was kind of a new guy. He also did Liberty Project, but then he did Red Tornado miniseries with Carmen Infantino. He'd been bouncing around. He's been, he had a pretty good grasp of writing early on. James Hitman Fry, Two-Fisted Terry Austin, baby. Yeah, baby. Love it. I'd love to work with James Fry someday. All I need is some money. And a publisher. See, there they are. Renee Witterstatter did the colors. This is going big. This is going Kirby. The other books were so tippy-toe about so many things. They try to dig too deep into the reasoning of some of his books. Silver Star gets right into it. Beautiful. Silver Star, created by Jack Kirby. I really wish his 4 issues would have lasted and would have come out. So there's a lot going on, baby. You didn't think that actually hurt me, did you? And Kurt was also a fresh new voice on the scene in comics. He had his own, was that it? Anyone want some more? All the dropouts on the shades, on his face. Wow, and those big old boots. I love them. And are you alright? Why wouldn't I be? So he has this vulnerability. It sort of reminds me of Orion. Before Mother Box fixes him up, but he goes, your face. Sorry, is this better? Sound bitter. Yeah, it's better. I'm better. Better. Just a little tired. I'm not happy unless I'm working. And, yeah, exactly. There's the backstory, but man, that armor looks great. The one Kirby design was great, but this just takes it a little further. If I had shown you Kirby's, you'd say, I could see that easily being the same thing. And here's a flashback where throw in some Kirby isms. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, see, not a lot changed. He just spruced it up a little bit. James Fry's work is so engaging. It's so black and white. That's what I like about it. You take all the color, you see all these figures here, you won't be lost because he knows how to. Lightning Lady, she was cool. He knows how to. He just has a really bombastic style for this, which is perfect. I love that. I mean, that's done a billion times over when you do 3 panels like that. I think all of maybe Steranko did it, or maybe before that Wally Wood, or who knows. Action, 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 baby. And I didn't really know a whole lot about this revival. I mean, I think it's basically there, but the original Silver Star was 6-issue miniseries, and it was really grim. It had a lot of philosophical themes, and a constant theme was death. It was just really, really bleak. So, how about that? I love that. Those dropouts. I love it, I love it, I love it. The coloring is great. So good. They're just tourists, O'Brien. Tell you what. Why don't I ask them? Beautiful, beautiful. Number 2 never came out. It was just too late. The bloom was off the rose. The comic book boom went bust overnight, big time, and it's a real shame because stuff like this, I'd be glad to be reading issue 123 or something like that if it had that maintained that quality. Well, okay, going back a long time ago, actually 50 years, baby. Oof. Captain Marvel, Kree Marvel. Starleech. Steve Englehart and Al Milgrom are still in this book. They're going to wrap it up probably in about 1.5 years from here. I think it's a bi-monthly book. I gotta look. Let's say bi-monthly. I think it is. Yep, published bi-monthly. And that's funny. I didn't mind bi-monthly books because, like in the 80s, bi-monthly books, Doctor Strange. I mean, you had Marshall Rogers, you had Michael Golden, you had Kevin Nolan, you had all these great artists, Paul Smith, that they could take their time doing a bi-monthly book. And with something like Doctor Strange, the way Roger Stern made him more humanized, it just fit. It was just a great surprise, and I wish they'd kind of go back to that with certain books, just keep the quality high instead of getting some shit-ass filler. And well, what I like about this a lot is that Al McWilliams is the inker, and I've mentioned him twice, and once recently, I think. I can't remember what it was. So this is a story, Rocky Mountain By. A lot of the writers from the Bronze Age love to make puns off of pop songs. This is First Medic Una, who is in love with Captain Marvel, but she's been separated from him because Jan Rog, the boss, he basically kicked Captain Marvel out of the Kree. So there they are with the Watcher. The whole trial of the Watcher and the Lunatic Legion story, which was not really a sensible story at all. See, if I showed you that, you wouldn't say that's Al Milgrom. There's just so much. He just softens it, and he adds more information about the muscles than Al might know. So what happened was, during this whole story, how can I encapsulate this? For years and years, since issue 17, Captain Marvel and Rick Jones, hanger-oner for the Avengers, the Hulk, and Captain America, now later on Rom Space Knight, he and Captain Marvel had shared atoms. For 3 hours, Captain Marvel could be Captain Marvel, out in our zone of existence, but for 3 hours, Rick Jones would be in another part of the galaxy, or he'd be in the negative zone. After 3 hours, they switch back. And the problem with that, it was a problem in a way because their floating heads be like giving each other advice, which is sort of like what I guess what Milgram and Gary Conway did with Firestorm, but that's a whole different animal. So, after years and years going on that planet with taking all that stuff with the trial of the Watcher, they managed to get separate lives. They split up. They no longer share the same space. And after all these years, and it's well written. It says, okay, after they separate, and all they want to be is free of each other. Oh, they try to tell themselves that they're sorry to leave each other, but that their shared history was, for all its problems, an era of glory, never to be forgotten. But then they remember that their minds hold no secrets from each other. The truth is, they're good and glad to be single men again. They crave privacy, solitude, loneliness, anything but togetherness. And so they speak no words. They simply say goodbye, as men will, and go their separate ways. Excellent writing. That is exceptional. So he heads back to this stage entrance where near his... he's going to be doing a rock show. He's, Rick Jones, wannabe rock star, and there's Mordecai, who is he is the promoter. He's the, what do you call that? I think agent. And then this gal comes along, and I did do an episode. It was an earlier episode where she gave Rick Jones some acid, and it totally screwed up. Totally screwed up Marvel, excuse me. So he's sitting there at a couch that's way too small. No. He's actually trying to find purpose. He's in Avengers Mansion. Jarvis is being a good guy as always. And he takes off because he missed him, but that's okay. Now, Carol Danvers, Una, knew of her attachment to Captain Marvel. They were starting to get a little, interested in each other, but Una is trying to kill her. And this panel here, I'm pretty sure there were several bullpenners drawn into here. I seem to recall that. But Al McWilliams, I love his work so much. That's kind of weird. But this next page really is stunning. And the coloring is great. It's all there. I see everything clear. And, you're like, Drew, can't you read a friggin' comic? Well, there's a lot of people who can't make a readable comic as far as storytelling. That's great. Ding. There's a mouth kind of, blubbering in the space. Takes off one of his negabands, throws it. Dink, dink. So you managed to get these crashing. Look at that green, a little bit of green tossed in there. Really nice. Even as the Kree space corpsman could use. This man is the master soldier. I wonder if I'd lost anything becoming one person again. Blah, 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 blah. Carol. What happened to you? She hurt me. Who did this? I did. Marvel's turn, spies its source, and feels the whole world die. Rick Jones out there laughing. Marvelous, he's marvelous. The 50s haircut, the 60s ballads, the 70s spacesuit. He's a Renaissance man of decadence. Instant time warp, yowza. Yeah, but bring back the black chick. Laughing at me, you lousy. Did you hear what I was saying? You missed the whole point. You want a freak show? All right. Have a freak show to blaze with all you. Well, get down to the who did it already. Not like that, man. Where's the stage door? More. So, meanwhile, back in Florida, Cape Canaveral, Una is attacking. Oh, here's what happened. Eon returned you to life, but not your soul. You had no mind. I've had a traitor. It filled the shell on Eon's abandoned asteroid like water to a sponge. Blah, 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 blah. So, he loves her, but he doesn't. Una, the real Una, died without knowing her suspicions of us were unfounded. I always loved her, and it's just hard for him fighting her because he cared for her so much longer than much stronger. Now look at this. This Al Milgrom art is like completely, and Al Williamson's just doing some magnificent stuff. He's putting all the right ribs in the right spots, and it's not over the top and garish. This is creepy. You lost your manhood here. They threw out our life together, and for what? For these ungrateful, unripened humans, the billions of simple shells. You're not Una. Zam. You're right. I did think there was something left in her. And you know, you're not Una. I'm going to end your mockery and menace forever. So the creature possessing her is like, yeah, bring an end to all pain. No, don't try to escape her body, creature. It's too late. And her regular face comes back and falls. And that's really, that's so creepy and tragic. And he's so heartbroken because it's like the second time he's missed her. I have to leave this world. I can't abide another minute. Amen, brother. My destiny's not here either. I'm just out of this place as you. Take me with you, Marv. And then they go on a space journey. I loved that. This is really a great story. And there were times every other month this book came out, and there were months where Al would ink himself, and it was really just God. I'm sorry, Al. I know I sound like a dick saying this, but you need like a good finisher, like what was it? Like Klaus Janson or Mick Williamson. But hey, good stuff. Silver Star, check it out, man. Dirt cheap. This, okay, that should be tricky to find, but this is a $4.99 reproduction of the original issue on slick paper, and which is perfect for Leonardi and Joe Rubinstein's work. That's it. I will talk to you later, and read a bunch of comics. Read them.